Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. And the community transmission for Dooku just dropped, and today we're going to be running through all the details. Just in case you've been living under a rock, Dooku is dropping tomorrow. Well, actually, I take part of that back. DICE has done pretty much no marketing for Dooku compared to the other heroes for seemingly no reason, so if you didn't know, I actually wouldn't blame you. But regardless, he will be in the game in less than 24 hours, and now we have all the juicy details. In addition to the Count Dooku info, it looks like a lot of heroes are seeing some changes, so we'll be covering those as well. But let's not waste any more time and get right into the news. First, I'll read you the little blurb they have here about Dooku, and then we'll get into his stats and abilities. The transmission reads, a master duelist, Count Dooku excels at close quarters combat with a lightsaber, and can deflect lightsabers easier than other heroes. While his skills with the lightsaber are to be feared, opponents will also be wise to avoid his lightning stun ability, where he can quickly unleash a blast of lightning. Opponents caught in the blast radius will be thrown to the ground. Calculating and confident, you should approach Count Dooku with caution. Count Dooku will be available to unlock via credits only, costing 35,000 credits. Dooku definitely doesn't sound like a hero to be underestimated, and from the descriptions of these abilities, which by the way turned out to be exactly what the datamine said a while back, he sounds like an absolute savage. His first ability is Expose Weakness, and this ability allows Dooku to target a single enemy and pretty much ruin their life. The enemy affected will have their movement speed reduced, take more damage from everyone, not just Dooku, and will be highlighted for the count during the entire duration of the ability. On top of all that, if Dooku manages to kill the targeted enemy while the ability is in effect, Expose Weakness will instantly recharge, and to me this sounds like one of those abilities that will absolutely be able to turn the tide of an entire match of heroes versus villains if used correctly. I'm guessing this will be one of those abilities that is a huge help in HVV, but way more situational when it comes to Galactic Assault, because depending on the length of the animation, this will probably be an ability not worth using on regular troopers who will just go down in a swing or two anyway. His next ability is Duelist, and before anything else, let me just say I'm very relieved that this ability is not a knockoff of Kylo's Frenzy, because we all know how broken that would be. Duelist seems to be just an alternate fighting stance that, according to the transmission, in addition to Dooku dueling with a single hand during the entire ability, it also improves both his damage and swing speed, so I'm hopeful that this means he'll be able to one-shot troopers while the ability is active. This one sounds pretty unique, and I'm definitely excited to try it. His third and final ability is Lightning Stun, and this one sounds absolutely amazing. I also have to say this is literally exactly the ability that I mentioned in my video over a year ago, right when this game came out, so I'm very glad they went with something like this. Lightning Stun will throw all opponents to the ground, with the damage being reduced for each target, up to a maximum of 5. So I'm just imagining coming up onto a group, maybe a full team in HVV, and stunning all 4 at once while damaging them and throwing them to the ground. I am assuming that this will be able to be blocked, and I'm also very much wondering how that will work with heroes. So say Han gets stunned and it chains to everyone around him, if Rey is blocking at the time, will she block its effects, or will it only be able to be blocked directly? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I do hope the damage is pretty strong and is able to one-shot at least the first person you hit, if they're just a standard 150 HP trooper. One more thing of note before we get into his star cards, Dooku also has more dodges available than anyone else, with a shorter cooldown on his dodges. It doesn't specify how many, but it sounds like Dooku is going to be a very evasive opponent. Count Dooku does have 9 star cards just like everyone else, so I'm just going to run through these really quick. A lot of them are very standard and predictable. His first is Sith Control, and this just gives him increased health regeneration. His second is Rising Power, which is your standard health on kill star card. His third is Finesse, which gives Dooku extra stamina. His fourth is Blind Spot, which gives his lightning stun a larger area of effect. His fifth is Balanced Duelist, which reduces the rate of his duelist ability. His sixth is Last Second, which gives his lightning stun a faster recharge rate, but also reduces its range by a single meter. His seventh is Superiority, which gives his Exposed Weakness ability a longer duration. His eighth is Dominance, which gives Dooku even more damage against his Exposed Weakness target. And finally, Masterful Duelist, which gives his lightsaber additional damage while it's active. Usually I would just try and make a guess on his best cards, but all of these are completely reliant on how good the ability is. Where Grievous and Obi-Wan both had not only a trailer around this time, but also pretty straightforward and predictable abilities, Dooku seems to be very up in the air until we see how they actually work. In case you guys haven't heard, Dooku's alternate appearance along with the Coruscant Guard skin for the clone troopers have both been delayed, which is pretty disappointing, but the transmission does say that his default appearance comes in the form of a Sith Lord outfit with a standard brown cape. And as I'm saying this, I realize that we haven't even seen Dooku yet, and the guy is supposed to be in the game in like 24 hours. Compare that to our first peek at Obi-Wan, which was almost a month in advance, and a Grievous in the summer. It's actually really strange. I know Ben said he's trying to get one out today, but it's an image. How is there not one out? He's supposed to be in the game tomorrow, but whatever, I'm getting off track. Dooku also has 4 victory poses, the names of those being I am superior, you should reconsider, unimpressed, and not worth the effort. That really doesn't mean anything until we see them, but those are the names. He also has 4 emotes, which of course were leaked last month, and those are brave but foolish, I've been looking forward to this, I've become more powerful than any Jedi, and the Sith control everything. I seriously can't believe that twice the pride, double the fall isn't one of his emotes. I suppose that'll just be a regular hero interaction, but dang, I would have loved to absolutely spam that one. Moving on to his milestones, all of them seem like they'll be ridiculously easy to complete. The first is defeat 30 enemies with Duelist, the second is to weaken 30 enemies with his exposed weakness, and the third is to simply hit 30 enemies with lightning stun. I don't know why they were emphasizing on the 30 there, but I actually can't believe how easy all of those are. I could see getting all those done in like 3 or maybe 4 matches. There is also a list of random voice lines that he'll say. I'm not going to read all of those out because there is a lot more to cover in this video, but I will throw those on the screen for you guys to check out if you want. If you want to pause it and check those out, feel free. Moving on from Dooku, Geonosis is officially coming to arcade, Heroes vs. Villains, and Blast tomorrow. I don't personally care about Blast or arcade, but I am all about some variation in HVV. Now let's get into what I really want to talk about, the hero and class changes, and some of these are pretty exciting. As announced last month, a lot of fixes are being rolled out for Force abilities. The transmission says improvements are coming to Vader, Darth Maul, Luke, Rey, Yoda, Kylo Ren, and a couple of other heroes including Iden and Palpatine. The first abilities I'll be checking tomorrow are Kylo's Frenzy, which is currently an absolute mess, and I really do hope they finally fix Luke's Repulse. That ability has been broken since launch. This patch is also fixing the lightsaber blocking bug that has been a plague on this game for the past month, and I really love how the patch notes say that occasionally happens. That did not happen occasionally, Dice, it happened like half the time, where the blocking just did nothing at all, especially with Obi-Wan, but despite that being something that should have been hotfixed like a month ago, they did finally get a fix out, so we can be happy for that. There are also a lot of little changes in the patch notes as well, but 80% of those are just things like fixed an issue where Obi-Wan's beard would clip through his face, so I'm only going to read off the relevant changes. Maul's choke glitch has been fixed, the one that would randomly send players flying behind you that was super annoying. Phasma's turrets is seeing some improvements to its reliability at firing at enemies. Leia's laser brain card, which has been very buggy for a while now, is now changed to consistently deal 190 to all opponents. At times it would deal like 50 damage and others it would one-shot a heavy, so I'm very glad they finally made some changes there as it always felt very inconsistent. They also gave some specifics on what they changed with Kylo Ren, and his frenzy is now apparently more consistent and will have a target system similar to Grievous's thrust surge. Another big change is to his Bloodlust card, which no longer increases the amount of swings Kylo does, but instead boosts the damage of each swing, which I think is really great. I think that's an amazing change. If we can deal more damage in less time, that is exactly what Kylo needed. One more thing before I end the video, the roadmap was also updated. There's really no new information on there, they just put some details on like what is coming, but really nothing of note. We already knew Anakin was coming, we already knew all the things were coming, and no release date. So I just wanted to throw that out there just in case some of you guys were in the comments saying I forgot it. The roadmap was updated, but nothing really of note. I want to know about March and I want to know some dates, but at least they did finally do something to it. That is about it for big changes, and overall, I'm pretty happy. I will say it is absolutely bizarre that we still don't have a proper image of Dooku, and it's also very disappointing that the Coruscant guards were delayed until February, as well as Dooku's alternate appearance. I don't know why they did that out of the blue last night. DICE announced they're not coming until next month. Other than that, I am excited for Dooku. Hopefully we get some proper gameplay soon, and I seriously can't wait to get working on a guide for you guys. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to drop a like, and if you are new around here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.